Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside the Swing. Today we're going to jump into positions 3 and 4. Yesterday we really worked on positions 1, 1.5, 2. As I mentioned yesterday, I like this separation, so that's why I always create kind of a 1.5, because all I'm doing is moving my upper body. I'm not moving my lower body until we get into 2, which was when we slightly moved that hip. So as we're getting into step 3 and 4, there's a lot of different ways. It's amazing to kind of go out there and see all the different ways to get to 4. A lot of people, a lot of instructors out there, they want you coming really high and then dropping in. Some want you to stay perfectly on plane the whole time. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. And I assume that, even if you're trying to generate a ton of power, getting those hands as high as you can to generate as you're pulling into the shot, pulling down, then you're going to create a little bit more power or a little bit more swing speed. Not necessarily power, because there's a lot that goes into power, but to keep it simple, I think I favor on the one plane, keeping it on the same plane. When you get into this up, drop, kind of lag, I mean, ultimately, all we're trying to do is get into this position coming into impact. So whether you go high, whether you go low, there's a lot of different ways to play this game. But today, I think I'm going to stick with, as I'm coming back, position 1.5, 2, face is still slightly closed, still, it's not really closed, it's square, still square. And then as I get to 3, I want your hands still going straight up, but I want that grip to be pointing at the ball. I really like that. I think it keeps everything on plane. And you can see in some of my previous videos, I get like this sometimes. I really struggle getting to that position. And so your body is only going to turn as much as it can. And then as you get to that position 4, hips in, butts against the wall, then you don't have to worry so much about dropping and getting into the slot. Now you can just drop down and turn into the swing. So, once again, set up, neutral, hands slightly forward of ball, 1.5 or 1, 1.5, 2. So 3, we're coming straight up. So this is the L, right? We're coming straight up with our hands. But what we're going to do is we're going to point the butt of the club. Feel like the butt of the club points at the ball. Some are like this, like a Matt Wolf. Matt Wolf comes really high and he drops it way low. That's a lot of movement, and that takes a lot of skill and a lot of time to perfect that. And so for most of you out there, I think just getting you here, 2, 3. So instead of being straight vertical like this, I want you to just angle it. Go ahead and get you into that slot. Feel like the butt of the club points to the ball. So if I'm lined up on the ball, there, and then what happens? It's pointing at the ball. So I'm already in a really nice position here. And then from 3, all we're doing is turning. That position stays the same. A lot of people come in. You can see some of the best players in the world. They're still coming in. That's generating a lot of power. But if they're coming in there on 4, when we come down into 5, they got to come back to that position without turning out of it, right? So as we're taking 1, 1.5, 2, 3, that's when that platter comes. We talk about pizza platter. Hold that pizza platter at the top. So if we get to there, 3, 4. Now, this is the trick on 5. So as we're 5, a lot of you will go ahead and you're wanting to do so much with your upper body. See what that does? Way over the top. You're just basically axe driving it. You're just throwing it like an axe, right? So what I want you to do is when we're in 4, I want you to feel like it just comes straight down. So the only thing that's actually moving here is your left knee. See how that left knee does that? As I'm coming down, but look what happens. I'm square still. I'm square. So as I'm getting to here, 6. Now this is where the fire zone is. This is where you want to start to move that belt into the shot, and that's what's going to square you up. So when you look at tour players, they are so smooth. It looks like they're hardly moving, right? And you're like, how in the world do they do that? It's because they're not doing these crazy movements at the top with their upper body. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic. Crazy movement at the top with their upper body. Their lower body is continuing to be the engine, and they're keeping everything together and looking smooth. So, as we're going into the shot, lining up. 1. Remember what we talked about yesterday? When we do 1.5, we're creating that separation. So that is generating a ton of power. This is your power zone. That's what's creating all of your power. You don't have to do anything with your arms. Your arms are just a byproduct of what you do with your body. So, 1, 1.5, 2, 3. See, I'm already getting that angle. A lot of you are still here. So what happens, and it's fine if you do that, but you got to know that when you get to the top of the total back swing, we're going to shift the weight, and you got to really drop. You got to really drop those arms into place as we're starting to come down. So there's a lot of things to think about. Versus, we get here, 1.5, 2, 3. I'm back on plane. It's right on my shoulder line, right? Got the club right on the shoulder line. 4, and then here we go. Left knee opens. That goes to 5, 6, and then this is where we fire zone. Then this is where you get quick. 7, right through impact, right? And then we get to 8, 9, 10. So hopefully I won't do like I did yesterday and have a terrible shot, but our goal is just get that feel we talked about. I hope you guys are doing that at home. Getting that feel where your legs are not moving. You're creating that separation between your shoulders and your hips. So path was good, but I had my face open, right? And so as you're working on these things, even for me, when I start messing around just for the first time and trying to figure out those positions, you're going to hit shots like these. You're going to have face problems, so don't worry about that. You're thinking about solid contact and getting that body balanced. The whole goal of a golf swing is to have a balanced swing. That's what we're wanting to accomplish. It has nothing to do with anything other than staying connected through the swing, hitting consistent, powerful shots. So, see if I can get it straightened up a little bit this time. 2 or 1.5, 2, 3, turn. This is the load, so we feel like we're loading. 6, 7, okay? And then that's what ultimately people say swing left. That's what's happening is you're at 6 and you're turning that belt buckle. What happens? It just swings left and squares up the club. Some people square it up even more or turn even more and they play that cut and then they have a slightly open face. So, set up. And these are good practices as you're working. Remember, your hands are going up, but you're laying off that club right in your shoulder line, right? Just like that. And that's what we're looking for. Path is slightly in out, perfect. Anything under 2, I'm extremely happy with. Face angle was 0.2, so my face to path was negative 1.2. So that is what we're trying to do as we get into 6, 7, and 8 tomorrow, really turning that belt buckle. But last time, to review, remember yesterday, 1, 1.5, 2. So we start that leg movement. So now we're at 2. Now 3. We're starting to really get into that hip. So those legs turn, left knee's down into that hip right against the wall, remember? Butt of the club is pointing at the ball. And then from here, all we're doing is turning. Left knee starts to move out. That brings me into that load position. And then we fire 6, 7, and 8, which we'll talk about tomorrow. So the golf swing is just about balance. If you can create a balanced golf swing and understand your positions in the swing, you're going to play some great golf in 2025. So as always, remember, you got to practice with a purpose. You cannot just endlessly hit balls and expect to get better. Coming to an indoor facility like 24 Golf here in Pinehurst, North Carolina is the perfect place to do that. And we hope that you guys will come in and join, and let's start working on that game. So until next time, this is Inside the Swing. I'm Jeremy Lee. We'll see you on the tee.